All right, I'm filming this a little later than usual, and I can see after we saw the tariff announcement after the market closed, we are getting a very large sell-off, and you can see it very easily here on Bitcoin. And I want to start with Bitcoin for a couple of reasons. The first reason I want to start at Bitcoin is because it is rejecting a critical level, which was just below 90,000 at this negatively sloping resistance trend line. And I want to remind you that Bitcoin has been making lower highs and lower lows. So Bitcoin is still in a bear trend, especially while it's down below 88,000. Now down below 88,000, it is possible it is going to 73,000, but I really want to see a breakdown below 81,000, which is this range low here. And if we break down below 81,000, we will likely start a sell-off in Bitcoin that will continue lower to 73,000. Now this is way below this Bollinger Band, so it will not happen overnight, and it's definitely not going to happen this weekend, but it could happen late into next week. Now, why I want to start with Bitcoin is because if the market is selling off on tariff news, you have to ask yourself, why does Bitcoin care about tariffs? And the real answer here is that Bitcoin is simply just moving, whether it's risk on or risk off sentiment in the market. Bitcoin is not something that is going to have tariffs on it, so it doesn't make any sense for a tariff announcement to send Bitcoin lower. This is just people panicking and selling everything they own and just getting the hell out. This is not rational behavior, and Bitcoin is not something that should be caring about tariffs, especially because it's not even imported. So just keep that in mind. It is a risk off or risk on market. Price action on the chart is what you should be focusing on. So in Bitcoin, if we start getting that break below this low here at the range low below 81,000, just be aware that we are likely going lower. And if we don't break down and we do get a sort of bounce off of here and we come back and break the highs, then that is risk on behavior. So all you really need to do is just have patience and follow the price on Bitcoin, and the price action is going to tell you everything you need to know. And you don't have to guess in this range. You can simply just let it ping pong around until you get a clear directional breakout and price tells you where Bitcoin wants to go next. All right, so next we need to jump over to SPY, and SPY had that bounce right up into that resistance zone right around 565. You can see we did wick above it, so we were getting sellers at that resistance, and now overnight we could have a gap down of a very substantial amount that takes us into this danger zone, which I have between 544 and 551. Now I do want you to be aware that if we currently get the gap down that we're looking like, we're going to be closer to 544, and that is going to leave a huge gap open above 554. If we gap down that much, there is a very good chance it is just a form of capitulation and an exhaustion gap for the sellers. Because we're not getting open market price action, we really gapped all the way down from 565 all the way down to 544. So if the market were open, it would look like a straight line drop in the price action. But because the market closed before the drop, we are going to gap down, and that leaves us open to an exhaustion gap fill at 554. So by far, this is the number one thing that I would be watching for tomorrow, is if we do get this very large gap down, which it looks like it could be possible we do. A lot can change overnight, so I can't make any promises about this. But even though you're in the danger zone, this is going to sound contradictory, but this is still a damn good trade way below this Bollinger Band and oversold near support with a huge gap to fill, which is likely going to be a form of exhaustion, which means we'll likely get a very powerful bounce to at least fill that gap. Now, if you want to be even more conservative, then just take your profits a little bit lower, which would be somewhere around 551. So this looks very doable tomorrow. Again, I have no way to know if we actually will get this gap down or if it's just a very low liquidity aftermarket move where the bid-ask spreads are very wide and a lot can change in very low volume. But if we can hold that gap down overnight, do watch that support. And even though we could be within that danger zone, it could still be advantageous to take on risk for a very profitable bounce, even if it's short-lived, because even if that's a lower high before the next lower low, that is still a decent long trade in the short term. So either way, you know exactly how you need to manage your risk. This is definitely an area you want to be very cautious, but because we'll be below that Bollinger Band with a very large exhaustion gap, I do think it is still a very valid trade setup with the proper risk reward setup. And then finally, let's look at the triple Qs, which were up 0.73% today. We did hit that negatively sloping 20 daily moving average just below 480. And we did get a close above the 5 EMA and a close above 474. But again, because of the overnight gap down that is possible, we could gap down here in the 450s. And that is also going to be a very large gap here, just like on SPY, because we don't have the price action in open market hours. If we gap down here into the 450s, we could still get some sort of exhaustion gap fill, which would be a bounce back towards 461 up to about 465. and that would fill that exhaustion gap. And remember, it is possible from there we just continue lower, so keep that in mind. But in the short term, with these huge gaps that we could get overnight, I will not be surprised if we just start the day out with buying pressure as soon as the bell rings and we just start to bounce from there. Now keep in mind, this would be below the danger zone, so again, you have to decide if this is worth the risk to you. I can't tell you this is a guarantee, of course. We have no idea what the market's going to do tomorrow, but if we get that huge gap down, there is a lot of room to the upside, which still does give it favorable risk reward. So pay attention to that gap tomorrow if we get it. I have no way to know for sure, but if we do, just don't be surprised if we get buyers out of the gate and we just continue to go higher to fill that gap. Always remember, below the danger zone, anything is possible to the downside, which could mean a full-blown capitulation and crash event. And I do not think the tariffs classify as a black swan event. I did get that question, and it's a fair question, but keep in mind, a black swan event has to be something that's completely unpredictable, and that would be something more like a pandemic or something that's extremely unpredictable. These tariffs were known ahead of time. We still don't even know what the heck these tariffs are going to be. We saw some percentages, but we have no more details about what exactly is affected, if there's going to be any attempts to make deals before they go into effect, and there's still so many unknowns. So don't be surprised if people are just simply just selling everything just to get risk off, and that actually could put in a bottom even if the tariffs do go into effect. So try not to focus too much on the news. It is so much simpler just to follow the price action on the chart, because the chart cannot lie to you, and the price on the chart is the only thing you need to be watching for a solid trade plan. If you want to come trade with me, the best way to do that is TSC Trade Alerts, where you get the exact percent allocations that I am trading for the TQQQ or the SQQQ, and you can find out how to join that by clicking on the link in the description of this video. So thank you for watching, everybody. Now go crush this market.